Hello guys, this is Jones10395 with a firearm review, and this will be of my M14 EBR. A couple things to note before starting the review will be that, one, this is not an M14, this is a Springfield M1A national match, so it's not capable of fully automatic fire like an M14 is, it's only semi-automatic. Two, I've had this weapon system for a year now and put approximately 1,000 rounds through it, so the opinions I give you or any judgments I give you aren't going to be just based off of things I've read, because I actually have a decent amount of range time with this. And the third thing is that I'm not here to argue or debate anything with this weapon system versus others or anything of the sort. I'm just here to give you cold hard facts about the weapon system as a whole. I'm not going to talk about the EBR separate from the M14. I'm going to talk about them together. So I'll start off with the basic facts and then move my way from the front to the back of the weapon system. This is a 7.62 by 51mm / 308 Winchester platform. So if you're coming from something smaller in terms of caliber, your follow-up shots might be a bit slower. However, just like with any other weapon system, once you get proficient with this and spend more time with it, you will be able to get faster follow-up shots and more accurate follow-up shots, which I can contest to that. It is true. Starting off at the front, we've got a basic Springfield M1A flash suppressor. It's not a compensator or muzzle brake, it's just a flash suppressor, so it doesn't really help with recoil at all. I have since changed it out for the Smith Enterprises Uscg muzzle brake, and this is a really good muzzle brake. My double taps have actually gotten closer in grouping. I'm able to pull off double taps with this 7.62 rifle at 50 yards and get both rounds on the torso of a silhouette sized target, which I think is pretty awesome. A little bit farther back, talking about just under the rails, you've got a Allen set screw, which just barely contacts the barrel. It keeps the barrel free floating in the same position, so it doesn't move around too much. This is all for consistency. Moving back underneath the rails, you can't see it, but there's a new op rod guide which is CNC machined to higher standards than the basic op rod guide that came with the national match. So both the set screw as well as the fact that it is free floated in this chassis and the new op rod guide, this all, it adds to the consistency of the mechanics so that they'll operate the same way every time, and that in turn adds to the accuracy of the weapon system. And on paper, it's supposed to be capable of .89 MOA shots, which is pretty awesome. I've never been able to squeeze that out of it, but I've also never shot this with any optics on it. I really love the iron sights on this. So with that being said, if you put some optics on this, some really nice expensive ones, you might be able to get out .89 MOA, but I've never been able to do that. Moving on back, you've got your polymer handguard, which is really comfortable. It really fits my hand. I was originally planning to switch out the polymer handguard for a foregrip, the EBR foregrip, but I actually like this handguard a lot. Once I started shooting and using it, it just makes shooting a really comfortable experience. Not that any other handguard wouldn't, I just really like this one. It really fits my hand very well. So I didn't upgrade to the foregrip. I don't think I will, because like I keep saying, it's really comfortable. Moving back behind the foregrip, you've got your charging handle. It's an M14 charging handle, not much to it. Pull it back, drop it forward, and then you're ready to go. There's no bolt release on this. There's a bolt catch, but it doesn't function as a bolt release. You can get aftermarket parts to do that, but I haven't and I won't, because I like the simplicity of these controls. So once again, it's just a bolt catch, not a release. Then you've got underneath that your magazine catch / release. It's ambidextrous. It's located in the center. You got to rock your magazines in. Some people don't like it. Some people do. Honestly, I like it. I don't have a problem with it. Let's just say that. It's not that I do or don't like it. So it's ambidextrous. You can access from both the left and right side. Moving back behind that, your trigger assembly. Obviously, your trigger, nothing special there. It's 2-stage, so that's something to note. And then you've got your safety, which is dead center of your trigger assembly, which is able to be accessed just as easily from the left side as it is the right side. So if your safety is in the trigger, it won't shoot. Push your safety out of the trigger, it will shoot. It'll be on fire. And there's no fire selector on this because it is semi-auto. So it's just safety, fire is all you got. And one thing to note, coming from a lefty shooter, almost shooting this exclusively lefty for a year now, this is a very ambidextrous weapon. You can use it just as easily as a righty as if you were a lefty. Obviously your charging handle doesn't move, but all the other controls are very easy to use, and the brass doesn't hit me in the face. Once again, I'm a lefty shooter, so it clears my body very easily. In fact, it kicks the brass out pretty far. The controls are really close and centralized, so reloading, unloading, loading is going to be very fast, and once you get proficient with it, you can be very efficient and get your reload times to be really quick. So that's a plus for all the controls being centralized. Moving behind that, you've got your iron sights, which you can adjust for elevation and windage, and on the national match, it is at, what is it, half MOA per click is what it is. I was mistaken earlier and I thought it was a quarter, which is nuts if it was a quarter, but it's actually just a half. Behind that, you got your pistol grip, ergonomic. On the newer EBR chassis, it's going to come with the finger detents in it, which usually I'm not a fan of, but on this I like it a lot. They're just subtle enough to where it doesn't really bother me, but it also helps. It helps with your grip. It's got a really good texture on it, so that's really awesome. And in the bottom of the pistol grip, you can store batteries and stuff. It's got a little cap that can pop on and off to put stuff in. And then moving on top of the pistol grip, you've got your sling mounts. Put slings on the other side, nothing special there. Moving on the way back, you've got in the center of your pistol grip, there's going to be, located above the pistol grip, center above the pistol grip is where your stock, your telescoping stock adjustment button is, and it's the 6th position adjusting stock. And then on the stock itself, you've got your cheek riser. So all this stuff really contributes to making the M14 platform a very usable and very ergonomic and easy to use experience. And if it wasn't already, if you didn't like the classic stock, this is awesome. It's a great weapon system. It molds the best of the, in my opinion, it molds the best of the AR with the M14. You've got the M14 power as well as the AR modularity. You can switch stuff out on this thing just as well as you could with an AR in terms of external accessories. And in my shooting with it, I've never used any optics or scopes or anything on. I've only done iron sight shooting. So once again, you might be able to squeeze out that .89 MOA groupings, but I haven't been able to get that just yet. So having been introduced to the basics of the weapon system, I'm going to talk about the weight debate, which is something that always comes up when you're considering purchasing an M14 EBR. It is 14 pounds naked, approximately, and it will go up from there once you start putting accessories on it. So if you're a bench shooter or you want to build this into a DMR, you're not going to have a problem with this rifle, because you're probably going to be shooting from a bipod or, like I said, a bench, and there's no problem with that. But if you're like me and you like to shoot and move around or walk and run or something like that, it's going to be noticeable. It's not going to hinder your movement. It's not going to slow you down. And that's really all there is. When you are shooting, the weight is focused on your forward arm, so your offhand arm. And that's going to be noticeable, like I keep saying. You are going to have to take breaks. Like you might be able to shoot 2 magazines and then let your arm go down, but you're definitely not going to be able to shoot 3 and then keep your arm up the whole time, because you're going to have to take a rest. Honestly, I've only been able to do 1 magazine, and then I have to let it go down for a bit while I'm reloading, and then I'm ready for more. But it doesn't slow you down, because usually the reload is long enough for your arm to kind of rest up, if that makes any sense, and get ready for the next 20 rounds. But that is a downfall. Yeah, that does suck. But I honestly, the love for the M14 EBR kind of trumps that. And like I said, 20 rounds is more than enough. If you're shooting and moving, odds are you're not going to dump all 20 rounds on one target. You're probably going to shoot like 3 here, run, shoot 3 more, and in that aspect or that employment, it's not going to hinder it at all. But if you do stand there and try to shoot all 20 rounds standing up, it's going to get tiring, and that's the truth. But if you're shooting and moving, then it's not going to be too much of a problem. This concludes my M14 EBR weapon system review. If you have any questions, comments, and concerns, then feel free to voice them. Other than that, thank you very much for watching.